Here we go then. In this video I'm going to go through the 3-stage pearl. This colour is Honda Sparkle White Pearl NH883P. I suppose technically this wing that I'm blowing off here is going to be a 4-stage, but we don't count the primers and the surfaces that we use, so primer, undercoat, effect coat, clear would be 4, but all we're going to do is we're going to blend this new wing, small bumper repair, and we're going to blend it into the door. So what is a 3-stage pearl? A 3-stage pearl is a solid colour with a transparent pearl effect coat over the top, and then a clear coat. So that's your 3. And it's fairly straightforward. There's not much difference to them, especially if you're used to a system where you're doing 2 base coats and a drop. So 2 and a drop. It's the same kind of thing, especially with the stand-up system where I do one coat all in one hit, I suppose, and then we just let that flash off and you put your effect coat on, so that it's still only a 2-coat system. For me, it's really easy. They're really quick. Some people can be phased by them. I'm really not that bothered. It's a paint job. Obviously, I'm more experienced. You'll see here I'm just using the fade out. I'm just going to blend in. You see the little tiny repair on the bottom of the door. I believe it was scratched. So I've put the fade out down, and I'm just going to blend this wet and wet into the fade out thinners, and that's just going to leave me a nice soft edge. You know, nice and easy. There's no rubbing it back. You can see, I noticed there as well on the bagging that the fan pattern brought the wet and wet higher than I wanted it to. So just always checking as well. I'm always keeping my eyes open for what I'm doing. And I'm just going to chuck a coat of wet and wet over this bumper as well, just the whole thing. It was only a minor repair. It's a little bit overkill, but the colour match that we've got here is spot on. I suppose there's not really much need for the blend in the door. I mean, you'll notice that I haven't bothered to blend the A-pillar, especially not going into the bonnet. I'm not going to go that mad. I don't know many people that do blend bonnets. I've seen people painting tailgates and blending into quarters and stuff. If your colour's really bad, then that's probably the way to go. I was asked the question with this pearl, but I was happy enough to roll with it. So because the scratch on the door, we are blending into the door. But again, it's easy peasy. Once you've got all your ducks in a row, if that's the right phrase, once you've got everything set up, it's easy. So you can see I've gone for the white wet and wet, the white primer. I'm going to put my white effect, not effect coat, I want to get that the right way around, the white undercoat on, and you can see here I'm not doing anything crazy. The white wet and wet's done the job. This is just simply to match the undercoat colour. It's near enough the right shade. I know some companies can mix certain pearl coats as a 2-stage, your base and clear, instead of a 3-stage. But yeah, I'm not doing anything fancy here. I'm painting this as if it was a white car. Get all my edges, all the usual stuff, and just going over and checking it and making sure that you're happy, you know, before you move on. And if you've got any questions as well with your pearls and stuff, if you aren't quite sure, drop us a comment and I'll get back to you. I'm pretty good like that. I won't leave you hanging if you've got a question or you're not quite sure what way around certain things go. Just leave us a message. I'll get back to you. It's part of the reason I started the channel. I enjoy helping. Especially when in the helmet painting community, there's a lot of sort of newer guys towards the custom side of stuff, and I was always getting asked questions, and I was like, it's easy when you know how, it's easy when you know the answer, that kind of thing. But because I've done it that many times, painting cars my whole life, moving into the custom side of things was easy enough, as long as you've got your your lines straight, your details, all that kind of thing. You spray your colour and off you go. So I started to record stuff just to show people, like I say, just to help out. There's nothing really too daunting going on here. Like I say, I'm just painting it as if it's just a normal white job. Obviously the emphasis here is on being clean as well. I bang on about it in most videos. Clean, clean, clean. Especially when you've got a white job. I do recall, I think, I get a bit of fuzz in the effect coat in the wing. And there's another little bit in the bumper. And this is where you want to be switched on. You want to have your eyes open and just be like, right, that can't stay in there. If it was on a dark colour, a black or something, I probably wouldn't have even noticed them myself. So, you know, you get away with it. It might end up as a small nib in a black panel, and you just polish it out as normal. But on a white car, or these really light colours, you can't get away with much. So this is the effect coat that I'm doing now. It does look white in the cup, in the PPS pot, but the binder is kind of a milky colour anyway. So the effect is in a transparent paint, and you've got lots of very, very reflective pearls in there, and that's what gives us the, I suppose, the effect of the effect. And you can see here I'm not doing anything crazy. I did notice there, I put 3 coats on with this. You can see I'm just stepping back and checking on the angles. We did do spray out cards just to double check. I just done a simple spray out card. I've done one. You can go ahead and do 3 and 4 spray out cards with how many coats of pearl on the top, but I just done your standard. Most cars are 2. This was 3. This is a newer Honda, so perhaps at the factory they're putting on a slightly wetter coat. But it turned out to be 3 coats for me. But that's the thing. As long as you're always checking, you can see here. This is where I've got the bit of fuzz. I'm checking my air cap there. I don't even know if you can see it on the screen. I can't see it from here. There was a tiny little bit of fuzz, so now I'm panicking, looking around. What's going on? Can I air dry it now and rescue the situation? And I think tape is my go-to thing here, which I'll probably end up grabbing. You can see I'm looking around. Is there any loose bits on the car? I like to just pull them off. But I believe this was a little bit of fuzz, like a fibre. You can see here, look, straight away, pull a bit of tape off. And that's going to help me. The tacky part on the back, you can just use that and lift out any imperfections that you've got in the paint there. So I'm just folding it in half. I've air dried, you'll see I've got the air. I've air dried the lacquer, and I'm just pulling it out. There we go. Is it completely out? I always wonder about these in the videos as well, because it is so hard to see that there is an imperfection in this video. I could have just edited this out and said, nah, look, I'm perfect, when clearly I'm not. So I'm just working at this here. It's like I say, it's just a little bit of fibre. I think perhaps part of it's been stuck. There you go. You'll see there as well, I'm pointing on the wall. Any little bits of tape you see I've got on that door there is something that's been pulled out of a panel. So I'm just going to go back over it here and just re-wet the panel, and give it the three coats that I was on about. But yeah, it's about always being switched on and noticing things like that bit of fuzz. Because if I'd have put this much paint on and missed that bit of fuzz, it would have been a headache to get out. So I always address things like that as soon as possible. I probably could have got it out, but you'd move the pearls around. I mean, look how much pearl I'm putting on here. Three decent coats. And I'll remind you as well, I am using the Standox system, so there's no need to dry in between coats. Because it's just almost a one-hit application. You can see here, this is the other bit I was on about, found in the bumper, and this was wedged in there. Again, you probably can't even see it. There's just like a little, I don't know, it must have been stuck in the wet on wet, or the first coat, but that ain't coming out of there. So I'll just plonk that on the wall there, and I'll just carry on. and I was able to pull it out during the clear coat, which you'll see in the end. You just see a very, very small mark in the clear. But yeah, as I say, you got to be vigilant and make sure that you're doing it the right way. Lost my train of thought there while I'm watching this back. I'd love it if the booth was much quieter. In previous videos, I say previous, quite old videos, the booth was much quieter, and I was able to kind of talk while I was painting and guide you through it while I'm doing it. Oh, that's not another bit, is it? It is. Oh, it come off. There we go. Lovely. And you'll see, like, I'm not perfect here, but I'm trying to make this job as good as I can. This is a brand new car as well. I think it had something like 6,000 miles on it, so this has got to be right. Like I say, I've checked, and I'm happy that we got the colour match. We know how many coats of the effect have to go on the panel. There we go. Just being Italian there for some reason. And here you see the spray out card that I've got, and I'm just checking because I know there's 2 coats on the spray out card, and I'm looking to see that the effect is more dense, if that makes sense. There has to be more effect on the panel than there does on the spray out card, which I'm happy with. I know it's only 1 extra coat, and I'm just checking the blend here. I'll leave a link in the description for a torch. I don't believe this one's available that much. It seems to be not in the shops anymore, in the shops at Amazon anymore. But you need to have a good torch. You need to be checking things like this. The worst thing that you want to do now is to try and have to rework a 3-stage pearl, because for me to reblend this door, to repaint this door, I'm going to have to go into the back door because I've come quite far across the top with the pearl. It's just the nature of the beast with these. You can try and do it in a small area, but I like to use as much of the surface area as I can when I'm blending, and you'll see why in a minute. It's come out really well. You can see the transition in the pearl. It's not noticeable that's even been painted, so I was really happy with that. But you've always got to be checking. You want to be on your toes with these kind of colours, and I don't know if that's why some people get a bit concerned about them. I do know a few guys in the industry that I've worked with in the past, and if something throws them off, like if they get a run out of a door handle or something, not even bad, guys will overcompensate and they'll try harder on the next job to be better and better, and they end up falling over themselves. And it's, of course, things like that, it's not good, and it's not good for your morale or whatever. And you do want to try better, but the more you dwell on it, the more it seems to make some people worse. So it's just one of these. You need to be on your toes. You need to be looking. And I suppose if you're getting bits of fuzz and that stuck in your car, I mean, and also know painters that just don't care. They just crack on, and if there's a bit of fuzz in it, there's a bit of fuzz in it. What do you want from me? But the few of us that actually do care about what we're doing and are passionate about the job, it's about getting it right. I'm glad in the knowledge. I'm happy to walk in any booth at any point and paint any car, any colour. I'm confident in myself that I'm not going to go make a mess of someone's pride and joy. Especially this is brand new, and we've had to put a new wing on it. Like I say, 6,000 miles on the clock. Guy needs a new wing. So it's not good. We make our living, especially in a collision repair, like I work at, your insurance jobs. We make money off of people's accidents. If people aren't out there having a bad day, we're not making money. So I say making money, that's how I make my money, that's how I make my living. But somebody has had a bad day and had an accident, and I'm here to put it right. Give us a car for a few days, and we'll sort it out and put it back to how it was when we came in. But you can see here, like, again, nothing crazy. Again, the speed of the Standox system, I've put a white effect coat, a white ground coat on, an effect coat over the top. 2 coats, 5-10 minute flash in between, and 2 coats of clear. Again, another 5 minutes in between that. So all in all, 4 coats, and this baby's done. I will emphasise again, do your spray outs. You know, if you've got one of these coming up, just make sure you know what direction you're going on. I haven't seen many that don't have much pearl on them. Like I say, most cars are 2, so if you know, you do your bare minimum like I've done. I only done the 1. Especially when we used the spectral camera, we knew that the colour match was like 98%, 99% accurate, so we knew the colour wasn't going to be an issue. It's just purely how many coats of the pearl need to go on. And again, from experience, most pearls that I've painted are 2 coats. So I've just done a quick spray out with the last job that I painted. Put my undercoat on, dried it, put my 2 coats of the effect on. I had a look at it. You'll see I'm just looking for that little nib there. But I put the 2 coats on, clear it with the last job, and then when this job pulls up to the front of the oven, get my spray out card, and on this occasion I've went, right, that needs 3 coats. It's not so dense that it needs 4, but it definitely needs more than it's got on it. So if you're doing that in your own workshop, just have a little play around. Try and do your spray outs in advance, and then keep them on the, I was going to say on the rack. We've got like a hook system on the wall with all the different colours on. Some guys may use a wee box or whatever, but keep them right on the back of the card. What you need to do. This spray out card has 2 coats, but car needed 3, something like that. And you'll see here now, I'll get really close in, and you can see the consistency of the pearl from front to back. And if you notice the tape, if you look at the tape there, you can see where the blend is from the white all the way across. Same thing here on the wing. Nice consistent looking effect coat. And a wee glance over the bumper as well. But yeah, I've just kept my cool. I've not done anything crazy. Just take your time with these. Just imagine it's 2 different jobs, and here we go. Here's the finished product. You can see to the bonnet and the A pillar. This is, you know, really good colour match. There we go. Flick the torch on so you can see. And like I say, any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. I think that's about it for this video. Sorry that I ramble on, but here we are.